Did Lukaku fumble?
Lukaku fumbled, bro.
He did.
He fumbled.
He did. And unfortunately, he's not going to get another chance to rewrite that. So unfortunately, it is going to scar his career, which sucks.
Feel so bad for him,
he doesn't
bro.
deserve it.
Someone was like, Meg shined his head with baby oil too much.
When we
Seen him
talked
do it.
about
Give it to me.
Haaland versus Mbappe a few months ago is why I prefer a player like Mbappe. The fact that he can pick it up and impact the game through dribbling, through movement, I think he's just a much more dynamic player.
Barca actually put out a statement on their Instagram outlining what happened. They were talking to Messi that Monday. They expressed that they were not gonna sign with Barcelona, and that he was gonna go to Inter Miami. That was the best Champions League watch party of all time.
That was the best Champions League watch party of all time.
The Megan Thee Stallion juice is about to hit.
Let's clap it up.
Come on.
Let's clap it up. And hold on. We got to do a little champagne toast.
where are we
I'm
coming
about to open
from?
this.
Wait, but
We
they don't
coming
know.
straight from Daily Paper. You see it on the tees. Kendrick couldn't make it, but of course, big shout out to our boy for putting that through because he actually works there. It wouldn't be possible without our guys. Let's clap it up for Kendrick real quick.
Yes.
Round of
And
applause for Kendrick.
I'm gonna open this bottle, bro. Y'all got it. But I'm gonna open this bottle right here.
Son.
The beautiful son did. Hey man, that was dope. Daily Paper. Big shout out to Daily Paper for giving us the space, to just do our thing. And shout out to everybody who came out, man.
Yep.
Who came through. It was
Mad
vibe
love,
was
y'all. Mad
incredible.
love.
We'll put the videos
Yeah,
and the
we gonna
photos
put,
here.
y'all gonna
We'll
see
put
for
everything.
yourselves,
We're gonna put
man.
mad shit on socials
We
too.
got receipts.
That shit was crazy.
Beautiful store, beautiful environment, beautiful atmosphere.
Beautiful people.
Beautiful people.
Beautiful weather.
Beautiful weather, man. The smoke is gone. We'll talk about that a little bit.
It's gone.
Pray for New York. I didn't see one of those hashtags.
Oh my God.
Everywhere else is pray for. New York as memes.
Nah, but this was dope. And although, would y'all say that the Champions League final itself,
beautiful?
the game equaled the vibe that we had in the
It wasn't as beautiful.
event?
wasn't as
Was it?
beautiful as the
That
event.
was beautiful.
Did y'all feel like y'all could actually watch the game? Because I was taking so many film flicks, which we'll put here. So much, video of people reacting, talking to people, thanking them for coming through. Did y'all feel like you really got to watch the game like that?
Was the game something to watch?
Ooh.
Talk about it.
Yeah.
I feel like last 30 minutes I was super tapped in. I saw the first
Yeah.
goal. Everything after that, super exciting. All the near misses, which we'll talk about. But
First goal was in the second half.
yeah.
Yeah.
What-
No, I thought you said first 30.
No, I'm saying I
Last
saw the
30.
last 30 and I saw the first
I have
goal.
a theory.
Talk to us,
Yes.
bro.
I think that people have been so
That's just hype.
traumatized. People have been so traumatized by boring Champions League finals and how boring the first half of that final was that every little thing that was remotely exciting in the second half,
Dragging it?
we were excited for it. We're like, like this is happening. Something,
Yeah.
somebody blinked.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
everyone was just excited for something
Definitely.
or anything to
Yeah.
happen.
Definitely
But-
somebody blinked.
Which, yeah.
But those near
Shit.
misses was actually hella hype.
Yeah.
Inter was very close. But to me, it felt so much like Liverpool Spurs 2019. The better team finally gets that breakthrough in the second half, and then they just can't get that goal to tie it up.
So
That's what it felt like to me, but also not too exciting.
did Lukaku fumble?
Lukaku fumbled, bro.
Yeah.
Lukaku fumbled.
Yeah, he did.
He fumbled.
He did. And unfortunately, he's not going to get another chance to rewrite that. So unfortunately, it is going to scar his career, which sucks. Which sucks.
feel so
'cause he
bad
doesn't-
for him,
he doesn't
bro.
deserve it.
No, he doesn't.
But at the end of the day, people judge you based on your performances and people judge you based on your most important performances.
Yep.
And unfortunately, going into this game, he was on a relatively good run of form, and so people hyped up the amount of impact that he would have, and then he was given 45 minutes to do something and had the opportunities to do something and then didn't. So in fact, he fumbled some chances. So
Yeah, it hurt, bro. It felt not as big a game at all, but Belgium's 1-0 loss, I believe, to Croatia in the World Cup to fall out of the group stage, chance after chance. Now, those were obviously, to me, way more clear-cut and not as big of as a moment. But nah, he definitely missed some chances, bro. And that header,
yeah,
it was
Shame. It's
right
gonna play. It's gonna
there.
play
And
inside.
credit to him for giving Inter even the opportunity to get the chance to level it up, because before that, it looked like nothing was going.
Yes.
But you got to bang in one of those, bro.
Yeah.
Especially that header. And credit to Ederson, who had a great performance.
Yep.
But if he tilts his head this way, that's it, bro.
Well, I mean, do we
It's
want to
1-1.
talk about Haaland's disappearing act?
Oh,
In
I
that
wanted-
We can.
I wanted to talk about Lukaku again. Real
Yeah,
quick.
you got it, bro.
Please.
Shout out to Romelu For me, he was talking about his grandpa
Yeah.
before the shits and how, that's a big inspiration for him. It's funny, his miss, because somebody brought up before how if it was coming to his feet, he'll do something, but to his head, I don't know, someone was like, Meg shined his head with baby oil too much.
You know?
Yo,
Speaking of Meg, bro,
it's so unfair that
God
this
humbled
whole,
him.
This
Or
whole
God humbled him.
This whole Megan Thee Stallion thing is not.
You
not
can't have
even,
both.
bro.
No, God said you can't have Megan Thee Stallion and the Champions League trophy. You going to pick one? You got Meg, that's amazing, but
I don't know if that
you can't have both in the same year. Maybe later.
Yeah,
You got to be humbled, bro.
Bro, I
Gotta be
feel
humbled.
like it's such bad timing that now this is gonna be attributed to like the Kim Kardashian,
The Meg
Now
curse.
this is
The Meg curse.
Megan Thee Stallion,
Who's next?
Which is so
Hold on.
unfair.
Who's
But-
Meg's next curse going to be for? What player, what team? I need predictions.
Lukaku, let's just focus
not-
on him, man. I'm not going to
No predictions? All right.
Bro, if any,
I feel
if
like
any-
Seb has predictions,
You
bro.
know what? Actually,
I don't know Meg's type.
cause we talking
No
about
comment.
we talking about Lukaku so much. This wasn't Lukaku versus Manchester City. This was Inter Milan versus Manchester City. As a collective, as a whole, as a team, what do we rate Inter Milan's performance? Did they do better or worse than we thought they were gonna do from the AC Milan fans?
Certainly better. I thought they were gonna get smacked, so certainly better.
You said 6-0.
I thought they were gonna. I mean,
That don't happen in finals,
it's
though,
not
bro.
crazy for me to think that Inter would get smacked by like arguably the best team in the world right now. They're the best team in the world.
In a final, though, it's rare to get that many
I agree.
goals.
But I
Yeah.
thought that Inter would be completely like blindsided by the amount of pressure and the amount of like the fact that they've just none of the players on that squad have ever played in a game that big.
Yeah.
And they played well. The strategy was smart. They contained City. They defended well. They fought and they played toe to toe for most of the game, if not all the game.
That's
So
actually just 1-0.
yeah, credit to them.
No, man,
and
credit.
honestly,
They could've scored.
this is something my little brother said, but his argument was that if the game had opened up sooner, it's possible that Inter could have won that game if the momentum carried the same. So, for example, if Man City had scored earlier and Inter had woken up sooner, I don't see it being a strange thing that Inter scores 2 goals and the game ends 2-1 Inter.
Yep.
I just think that the game opened up a little too late for Inter's liking, and they just
Yeah.
didn't have time to react.
Seth has a little bit of PTSD for when Inter scored too quick.
I do.
But nah, for real,
Yeah.
that's a good comment from
Yeah.
your brother, though.
Yeah.
The timing of that goal for City was actually very good.
To not to just again go against what I just said, that it's a collective and make it about Lukaku.
Yeah.
But to his credit, the energy changed. For
did.
Inter
Nah, he
Milan
changed the
once
game, bro.
Once he went into the game,
They needed him.
Despite we can remember the misses,
Yep.
but he did help wake them up.
High
Which
key.
then brings the question: a lot of people were surprised at the beginning of the game to see Dzeko start
Nah,
instead of
it makes sense,
Romelu.
Yeah.
So was that a good decision or a bad decision?
It's a good decision because the reason Lukaku comes on and shifts the energy is because he has the energy
Yeah.
to shift, you know?
He's not a 90-minute
He's
player
not a
like
90-minute
that.
player yet.
Yeah.
I think he's still finding his form. It's unfortunate that he's
How old is he? How is he still finding?
Well,
no,
30.
not
He's
in the
saying
sense,
right now.
No, like his good season, the good season that he's having started a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
If we're being honest, like he only started scoring goals consistently a few weeks ago.
Or a couple months, yeah.
Yeah, so his trajectory has always been with Inter. Dzeko starts, he comes on and sees if he can change stuff, and that's what they stuck with. They stuck with their game plan. The question right now in regards to Lukaku is, I remember a few years back there was a tweet in which a bunch of top strikers were listed, or elite strikers were listed. I think it was Lewandowski, it was probably Benzema
Suarez, why?
and Suarez, and then I assume right now in today's day and age we put Haaland in that list too of elite strikers. And then I remember Lukaku taking issue with that tweet and being like, "Hey, I'm an elite striker too."
Yeah.
What do we think?
Right now, career-wise, overall body of work as a striker,
Yeah.
I think he will go down as like, oh, Lukaku was an elite striker
Yeah.
at the end of his career.
Yep.
Currently, right now, I don't think so.
Can I ask a different question?
Yep.
So in terms of music, right, we have the GOATs. We have
Yeah, of course.
Cole,
I was actually
Kendrick,
thinking about when I said
Drake,
body work,
right?
I was thinking about music.
Yeah, that's why I thought. So
Yeah.
body of work, right? Lewandowski's body of work, Benzema's body of work,
Yeah.
Suarez's body of work, Haaland's body of work
Yeah.
that he's currently
Yeah, yeah.
creating is the body of work of an elite artist, a Drake, a J. Cole, a Kendrick Lamar.
It's more an artist that had those 2 really good albums, but then tailed off a little bit. So if you talk about
this is who?
Kendrick,
Who are we talking
Lukaku.
about? Okay.
So if you talk about Kendrick, Drake, and J. Cole.
Yep.
Those three they call like the big three because once they came on, they never looked back and they become probably the three biggest rappers in the world.
So who's
aside
consistency also?
consistency. And to me, he got left behind a little bit. Maybe some would say the likes of a Wale, the likes of a Big Sean. I think Sean's had a bigger career. Those guys started with them and never became what those big three became.
Right.
So I think that's a similar sort of comparison where you had maybe the 1 or 2 hit albums. And then it just tailed off, and you see what the consistency got the other guys. So
Which seasons of Lukaku are y'all donning?
Inter Scudetto was fire. He balled out.
Do you remember when he was
balled
at
out.
Everton?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. Early with
that
he had
was
the dreads.
great.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of the
That's good.
the expectation.
No, of course.
Yep.
People saw him at Everton and they painted a picture as to what his career is supposed to look like after he leaves Everton.
Always
He
do it with
goes
athletes.
to United and everything else.
Yeah.
So I think that there's just the perception that everyone had of him that was so high that it's tough to live up to that. Obviously, he's had some great seasons. He's had I think he's just been inconsistent.
Yeah.
And that has to do also with the environment, with the management that he's had over the few years. He's been, going back and forth between the Prem and Serie A or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I just think it's unfortunate that he ended up being, having all of these chances and missing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Would it be a little less painful if he didn't have those clear, like that header?
Yeah.
He's gonna.
Yeah.
That's gonna.
Yeah. And he's a sensitive guy. He's gonna watch
that
it.
moment.
And he's overhated too.
That-
Like people are happy that happened, and I don't like that. But
that motion, that header, he's gonna replay
be like,
that.
I wish I hit it
Just
differently.
yo,
I
if
wish
he
I hit it.
if he turns his head a little bit, bottom corner, done.
Yeah.
He was right.
Yep. It's a shame.
And then who hit the crossbar with the header? And then the rebound hit Lukaku's foot. People saying Lukaku should get out the way. How are you supposed to get out the way?
Yeah.
You think he could get out the way? There's no time to react, bro.
Of course not.
There's no way. That was So
So to
That
talk
was
about
crazy.
actually, so we were talking about the losing team,
yes.
the champions, Manchester City.
Yep.
There's a lot of questions that arise with that. One, they managed to do it to secure the win
Yep.
and become champions without Kevin De Bruyne playing 90 minutes, which
That's
is
big.
arguably like top 3 of their best players,
Easy, yeah.
most important players,
Maybe
we've
best.
seen.
In the history
They
of
still
that
were
club.
able to do it.
Facts.
History of their club legend, Premier League legend,
Well,
world football legend.
may I say something?
Yes.
I'm not saying that he's not a club legend. However, every time Pep Guardiola goes on his little media comments where he plays with the media and makes fun and does his little funny comments that he likes to do, he always seems to leave De Bruyne out of, he always seems to not big him up. He always seems to forget about him. Like, for example, the other day, he was asked, "Oh, why is your career so good?" And jokingly, he goes, "Before it was Messi and now it's Haaland." As if he didn't win the Premier League, 4 times with De Bruyne? I don't know.
He calls De Bruyne a genius.
He also calls him very sensitive.
No, of course. I mean,
And he also calls him a bit of a crybaby, which is direct quote from Pep.
He is
It's
a
odd
crybaby.
to me.
Yeah.
I just think it's odd.
I think he does that on purpose. It's like Phil Jackson telling Kobe, like, at some point when Shaq was injured, like, we need you to really score. We need you to do this and that. And then when Shaq comes back, he's like, we need you to tone it down, not because we don't need the points, but because you scoring more is going to affect Shaq's confidence and just his flow of play. So being a manager, knowing how to play with, you have to be somewhat manipulative to be a great manager, because all of your players, like you said, you have to be able to manage egos.
Yeah.
Some players have just strong personalities and strong egos, and they have very specific things that make them tick.
Yeah.
And once you know how to push certain buttons, you know how to fluctuate their emotions, you know how to get the best and worst out of them, you can use that to your advantage. I feel like after all these years, he kind of figured out what makes him, what the levels are. He knows how to play, with KDB's buttons. And yeah, I think it's worked. He's gotten the best out of him over the years.
No, he's been great,
To be
bro.
honest. But yeah, man,
Pep.
historic season, treble. They've won. Manchester City have won the Premier League. They've won the FA Cup. They're now Champions League winners.
For the first time
For
ever,
the first time ever,
they finally broke through. That's huge for them.
they
bro.
got
Fuck
it.
off,
Pep
Yeah, it's bad.
has finally broken that curse that's been, hanging on his head. He won the treble with Barca.
Yep.
Hasn't won the Champions League since.
Didn't win it with the Bayern. Yep.
Did not win it with Bayern Munich. So now, are we having a different discussion now as to his position in terms of the GOATs of managers of football. Like, is Pep Guardiola now considered the greatest manager of all times?
You can start. You want me to start? I don't think he's the GOAT.
It's tough to still make the argument of like managing, personalities and all of that. Because come on now.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's GOAT's really hard. You have to lay down a lot of things
There's a bit of
to
intangible
discuss.
that comes with GOAT.
Yeah, and like a guy like Carlos won the top 5, the top 5 leagues. Carlo Ancelotti, the first one to win the title in the top 5 leagues. He's won the Champions League in 3 different instances, in 2 different instances with Madrid, and then also multiple times with Milan. The types of players he's coached, he has maybe one of the best well-rounded resumes. Sir Alex Ferguson has the best long-term coaching experience within one club.
Sir.
What he did with that team, Sir Alex Ferguson.
Sir.
That like he completely he revolutionized the sport. He won, I don't know 10 prems or some shit.
Headmaster.
He won the treble himself as well.
Yeah, man.
Nah, say it, bro.
Boss,
no,
man.
And like he did it. He didn't come into a position that Pep came into. Now, City had won the Prem before. They'd won the FA Cup before. They won the League Cup before. Now, he did take over for a team that City wasn't at their best at that moment. And I remember they finished 3rd in his first season, and then they started going crazy. But I think Sir Alex took Man United from a pretty average team into building just an untouchable legacy and creating a system of players coming in and out. And the United way, that 4-4-2, that could not be stopped. So I'd probably, off the top of my head, I'm sure there's coaches from the 60s, sorry, we don't know about. Maybe like, Real Madrid coaches in those eras that won 5 European Cups. But for now, I'd probably say Carlo and... No, but real I don't actually know who the coach was. I'd probably say Carlo and Sir Alex are top 2 off the top of my head. But Pep's probably 3rd. I think he's definitely beyond Mourinho. He's definitely beyond, everyone else.
I still don't like him, but
except for Convo.
I can't deny.
I don't like Djokovic, but he's one of the best tennis players ever. Like,
I have no opinions on tennis.
So, shout out tennis, though.
Shout out to Serena Williams.
Yes.
Shout out to Serena Williams.
That's
for
the
sure.
only opinion I have on tennis.
Nah.
Shout out
Serena Williams is
It's a great segue.
top 3, man or women's. Serena Williams is top 3 best athletes of all time.
Oh, facts. She might be number 1. The dominance that she did in women's tennis, when women's tennis is in a very competitive place as it is now. Fun fact, also has equal prize money to the men, just to let you know the actual popularity of it as well. The way she just romped through everyone with the target on her head her entire career is something I haven't seen any individual performance compared to, honestly.
Yeah. Literally. Maybe Phelps. Her and Phelps.
Yeah. And then both. But
Same boat.
Yeah.
time, her legacy is
longevity
longer,
of
but it's
career.
also very different sports. Those are athletics, as they call it in England and shit. But
Okay.
But yeah.
Speaking of Man City, let's talk about some individual players and some individual performances.
let's do it.
Haaland.
Yeah.
They're saying disappearing act on Twitter.
He hasn't done much since after the Bayern tie.
Yeah.
I mean, because
Are we gonna start calling Haaland Casper now?
Ooh, hold on. Same skin tone.
Okay.
Go ahead, bro. Fucking Viking. Go ahead, bro. Shout out Haaland, though. He's a great player.
Casper. He's been disappearing.
Yeah.
we love pale people still.
Shout out. My dad's pale, so I can say that.
Same.
I'm white. If y'all don't know. Like, actually.
love.
He looked at the camera.
You are what you identify as.
I'm white.
Nah, but
Yeah,
the thing
you were
about
saying.
Haaland is there's gonna be more focus on him. So as with every star, there's a point in your career where teams actually play directly and create a great game plan for you.
Yeah.
Next stage is him just gonna have to break that.
I have a really interesting question, but I can wait for y'all to give Haaland opinions if you want.
Because I was gonna say,
Okay.
no,
you got it.
I always say comparison is the thief of joy.
Facts. That's
and
real.
so
That's real.
I don't like to put players against each other. Obviously, that's what sports fans overall do all the time. And there's
You are
been
on a podcast.
yes, and there's been this conversation of because they're 2 of the biggest young players or players period in the game, Haaland and Mbappe.
Yeah.
I feel like Mbappe has that clutch gene. I feel like he has that that same dog in him that Michael Jordan and Kobe had.
Yep.
And in
It
big moments,
seems like
It's
a
different.
in big
competitive
moments,
aspect.
he's his
Saw the
skill
World Cup
set.
final?
His skill set is amplified in big moments.
Yeah.
I think that not that Haaland becomes worse in big moments, but he doesn't seem to have that same rage. He doesn't seem to have like that switch doesn't come on even more because it's a big moment. It seems like Mbappe has something that awakes in him when he's in bigger games.
However, just to throw Haaland a bone, he isn't like his skill set and his play style is not the type of play style that carries a team. He's not the type of player that drags a team with him.
He could, well, that's just like putting him in a box then. And I mean,
when he's in
so
his bag,
early in his career.
can.
It's still so early in his career, and obviously, like, he's record Premier League goal scorer.
Yep.
Like, we're allowed to be tough on him,
Yeah.
because obviously he's great. You know,
And
that's
he's tough
not
on
that's
himself
not
in a
taking,
good way. That's what makes him
yeah,
so
that's
excellent.
not taking
Yeah.
nothing away from him. But you want, like, as a player that's accomplishing these things, there's gonna be a threshold. There's gonna be standards that people are gonna expect from you. Now, what the fans expect from you and what you expect from yourself as an athlete is different. We know one matters more than the other.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, he's gonna tell himself too. It's gonna start creeping in his mind if he's not showing up in the biggest moments. It's gonna start taking a toll on him and probably his performance.
And this
How
is
many times has he been in a situation to also like?
Once. This
to
is
step
the
up?
first
That's what I'm
serious
saying.
like.
Yeah.
Final.
Versus Mbappe's had.
well,
the
FA Cup
opportunity-
final, he didn't do as much, but go ahead.
Well,
Fair. That's fair. It's fair. I'll say if we're talking about Mbappe as a point of reference, he's just had, for instance, he won that World Cup final.
yeah,
You know,
it's a
when they
shame
blew
that
up.
Haaland will probably never get a long World Cup run.
No,
Or something. Yeah, you know what I'm
they
saying.
have to have a random good ass year.
Because
Yeah,
I think a World Cup run is like it's one of like the most emotionally like motivating and emotionally like gratifying like
Validation.
point. It's validating. It's a super validating moment in a player's career.
Wow.
Like a World Cup run allows you to feel emotions that you can never feel in any other type of scenario.
true.
And I think that gives Mbappe just a little bit more self-belief than Haaland will ever be able to access, because he won't ever get that long World Cup run where he gets to put his country on his shoulders.
Or even
Just-
moments like
Yeah.
even let's say Mbappe didn't. Let's say France didn't even win the World Cup in 2018. That moment against Argentina where he ran past
That
the
hat
goal,
trick.
Yeah.
That's enough. That's
Yeah.
enough for some.
It's in your
players.
locker. You can access it. Like you can be like, yeah, I fucking did that
Yeah.
for my country.
and just
Yeah.
as we talk about play styles as well, the way Mbappe can just say, "Give me the ball, catch it on the wing,
I got it.
and start going
Give it to me.
crazy."
I'm
is
ready.
why
You've
when we
seen me do
talked
it.
about
Give it to me.
Haaland versus Mbappe a few months ago, is why I prefer a player like Mbappe, because I think he can do all those streaking runs, score a bunch of goals down the middle, but the fact that he can pick it up and impact the game through dribbling, through movement, I think he's just a much more dynamic player. Maybe not the finishing ability of Haaland. Obviously, Haaland's stats are one way. But if I could still pick one player, I want Mbappe on my team.
Yo, to
Shout out
that-
Haaland, incredible season, but that's the sort of thing I'm talking about.
To that point, I want to, since we're talking about Champions League
World Cup.
and the World Cup,
Yep.
I want to ask this question.
there it is.
So, if you were footballers, you could put the closer one on this, Amir.
Yeah.
But
So you turn,
if you were,
turn the camera on me.
yeah,
Nah, this is for you, Eli.
is this camera on me?
Yeah.
If you know that reference, you know internet history. But
Sure.
if you were a footballer,
Yeah.
would you rather win one World Cup and no other trophies in your club career, or win every possible club trophy but never win a World Cup?
In the current period of football and history.
Just
Let's
ever.
say today. Let's say
Let's say right now.
Let's say the 2000s era.
Yes. Would you rather win a World Cup and nothing else, no club trophies at all, or never have the chance to win a World Cup but win every trophy in possible for club?
Do you mind if I just ask a quick clarifying question?
Go
Even
ahead.
for the clip.
Go ahead.
How integral of a role do you play
about
in
to say.
these
I was about to
victories?
So you're a regular starter.
Okay.
You're regularly in a starting lineup.
Okay. Josh?
That's a good question. I mean, in the current age, I feel like, honestly speaking, maybe I might. You know, I like to beat around the bush.
Yeah.
Honestly, so I'll give you an example to
Yeah.
answer.
Go ahead.
You know how
Nah, go ahead,
2016, the way Ronaldo helped Portugal to get to the final,
Yeah.
Yeah.
add in, let's say, Mbappe's previous, just his recent final performance. Let's say they won. If that was my World Cup, like basically I'm saying the World Cup is me.
Yeah.
If the World Cup is me, then. But if I'm, we could ball out across Europe, across the world. The World Cup, some people, the greatest players won't touch that.
Yep.
In today's game.
But are you playing for Ghana or the U.S.?
There it is.
Oh, that
Put
question.
it back on him. Ghana or the U.S.?
I used to think about this all the time as a kid.
Ghana or the
Just in
U.S.,
his room,
bro?
just like
Nah, for real. I mean, honestly, I'll play for Ghana.
Yeah.
But also,
Yeah.
I would play for the U.S., but also like
Yeah.
it's different, especially because my Pops is definitely one of the reasons why.
Yeah.
I love
That's
football.
real.
So yeah, no.
What do you think?
Yeah. Honestly, I'm taking the club trophies. If I can win 5 Champions Leagues with Real Madrid, multiple La Liga, some Copa del Reyes, ball out on that team, or even be a meaningful substitute on some Asensio shit, that's such an incredible career. That's so many trophies. There's so many celebratory moments. And it's just so much more consistent, too. I think it's a bit more joy that you can hold on to. There'd be nothing like bringing a World Cup to the U.S. because I would play for the U.S. over Spain.
Yeah.
Because that would just be, bro, can you imagine whenever we do win it? Because it's going to happen. Whenever it happens, it's going to be the scene, bro, it's going to change everything forever.
Yeah.
But I'd go with those club trophies with Real Madrid. Yeah, I really
I would
would.
say to add on, the World Cup can be a bit fleeting, especially with the pace of sports now. That's why I also asked about the era too.
Yep.
Yeah. I think if we're talking about this era, for me,
Haiti, yeah?
because it's damn.
Bring up the Baba
Damn.
Bro,
Nah, you got to win the World Cup with Haiti.
wait,
Nah, I'm picking it for you. I'm picking it for you. That would mean
For-
too much, bro. You imagine.
As a Haitian,
Nah,
bro,
okay.
So there are some countries where it matters a bit
so
more.
it depends on the
Yeah,
country.
nah,
it
you-
depends
bro, you
on
have-
the country.
Because Spain,
especially,
yeah.
You actually,
if your country
you would
has
cry
one,
and
bro,
shit yourself.
Yeah.
At the same
If shit,
time.
piss, sneeze, all that, bro. Cough up blood and die, nigga.
If
Yo, put his tombstone on
it
the
would be
pitch,
incredible.
bro.
It would be incredible. If your country, so there's a threshold. Like if your country has won the World Cup before, it's different.
Nah, Ghana
For
be
me,
up, so.
country has never participated.
For
Niggas
me,
gonna
as a
disintegrate.
Haitian, we participated,
That's
but
true.
we lost in the group
Pride.
stage.
Definitely the group stage.
So as a Haitian, bro,
Yes.
if I had the chance to give Haiti one World Cup
Yeah.
and win no other club trophies, I'd take the World Cup.
Yeah, you have to.
I'd take the World Cup. But again, if I'm having, like, yeah, football is a team sport, but in my club career, if I'm not winning any trophies, but individual, like, accomplishments, like I'm balling out and I'm doing well, but I got that World Cup for my country, for Haiti, bro,
Nah,
I'm taking a one World Cup.
Nah, you have
I'll
to. For
sacrifice
Haiti, you
it.
have to.
Sorry.
Honestly, that type of shit, you retire, you just go back home and you just chill.
Bro, you would
chill.
Yo, come on.
No,
Bro,
you would
chill,
you would
bro.
really run the island forever.
You never pay for a damn thing.
Could
Yeah,
you
that's
imagine?
true, it's
no,
true, it's true.
imagine right now, like on some real shit, pulling up
true.
to Haiti, knowing you were on the world. The way you be treated on the island, bro. Nah.
Imagine
that's royalty.
imagine I scored the winning goal for Haiti in a World Cup final.
You don't have to do anything ever again in life.
I hope
Just write a book about it, do a podcast about it, do a movie about it, do a story about it, do a children's book,
I
everything.
hope somebody hears this, some Haitian boy, and was like, nah, the way he just explained it, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Bro, this is why.
Honestly, I got goosebumps, and I have,
Nah,
I'm not Haitian
bro.
at all.
Yeah.
This is
I'm
why,
a little Haitian,
as
but-
you said that, I just got chills, bro. And this is why I want to, like, elevate this this space that we're in and just
Yeah.
the work I do in football media, because I want to be able to have the resources and the connections to, like, bring a lot of infrastructure to Haiti to be able, because from living over there,
Yeah.
I've seen
Talent.
the talent, I've seen, like, the work ethic, I've seen the passion,
Yeah.
and I just know there's a group of kids out there, there's a group of young boys, and there's a group of young girls. The girls are in the World Cup.
They already
this
cooking,
year.
Melchi and
there's-
them, yeah.
There's so many people in there in the country that I feel like could bring that World Cup home
Yeah.
with the proper training, with the proper infrastructure. So
Yeah.
man. To answer the question, I'd take the World Cup.
Sebastian.
I want to say one thing first, just in terms of that Haiti thing. Just quickly, I hope one day in our lifetime we get to witness a Caribbean World Cup, like an island hopping World Cup.
Oh my God.
Just
Like,
yeah. Anyway, that would be a dream. If
Jamaica, Trinidad, Cuba,
CONCACAF,
Haiti.
make it happen.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
CONCACAF, make it happen.
imagine,
My God.
you just
Yo.
take cruise ships from one island to the other to watch games. Wow. An
goodness.
island hopping Caribbean World Cup would be the greatest thing FIFA could
You
ever
imagine the parties.
Huh?
You imagine the parties.
No, yeah. We should probably not even put that out.
it'll
that.
come down to
Yeah, we'll pitch it.
It'll come down to infrastructure, but I will say like that type of experience won't be able to be replicated anywhere.
We should host the World Cup, bro.
outside the that part of the world.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. I mean, we have the buildable stadiums. We have the Lego stadiums that they can take apart and put together. So.
the Lego stadiums is
If we can do so without human rights violations.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
So what would
so
you
the
do?
question. So the question
And
is
what country?
The question is, if you are a football player and you are a regular starter, would you rather win a whole lot of club trophies but never win a World Cup, or win a World Cup for your country?
So if you win the World Cup,
Yeah.
you win nothing for your club.
Yeah. For me, winning the World Cup is not more so about winning it for the country. I think that's something that a lot of people don't realize. Like, yes, a lot of players may say, "Oh, I'm so glad to win this for my country," but what they're really saying is, "I'm so glad to win this for my family, like for my parents." At least that's what it is for me. Like, winning a World Cup would not really be for the countries that I'm from. It would be for my literal immediate family. Like,
Well, I chose Ghana, bro.
Exactly. And I think that's why every single time I would pick World Cup, because it would be for my family. Like, it's something that like they genuinely already have an attachment to, and then I fit into something that they have an attachment to and elevate it to the point where it can no longer be elevated any further. That's the most dreamlike thing ever.
What country?
Probably Italy, because I learned soccer through my dad.
So you want the 5 stars?
Yeah, it'd be for him.
Brazil, watch out.
I think, that's a great point you make, because like,
Imagine.
I'm thinking about if I'm lifting a World Cup trophy for Haiti, I'm thinking about like the people I grew up with. I'm thinking about my neighborhood, my school.
Exactly.
I'm thinking about, but then also to a certain extent, I'm thinking about the history of the country itself. I'm thinking about everything that we've gone through as a nation, as a people, and like, although that one World Cup win, like, it's going to be emotional. It's going to be larger than life. It's going to feel like you're in a different galaxy, a different universe. And that's not necessarily going to change the whole political, economic state of the country.
But it can.
But
Morocco
it
has
could.
changed so much in the past 6
It
months.
could.
Brazil.
To a certain
it's their biggest
degree,
export is soccer.
But it's just the meaning that it has to your direct loved ones and the people that you share that nationality with closely.
Exactly.
It's just that's oh man.
Yeah, my only not
That's a
rebuttal,
different
because I completely agree.
Yeah.
But when I see players hugging their moms in tears after a Champions League, after a Premier League, after a La Liga, and to be able to say I won 5 UCLs, 10 La Ligas, 7 like, that's extremely special, and still
At some point, you don't think it'll get boring?
No, because if it's that difficult and you're playing against like a top Barca team, top Atletico team, like, and to be able to close that chapter, say we were the greatest team ever type thing, not even if it's not the greatest team ever, but you know what I'm saying? Like, when Kroos and Modric leave Madrid, like how Benzema must be feeling what he just left, bro, since 2008 or 2009 to go to Saudi, like, think Ballon d'Or is right here. Like, think about what he just did. That feeling is different because it's also such a body of work.
Now that we're back to speaking about strikers,
Yes.
real quick, I just want to ask quickly.
Yeah.
Start one, bench one, cut one.
Okay. I love these.
Whew.
Haaland,
Be careful.
Let's go in a circle now.
Be careful.
Start one, bench one, cut one. Haaland, Lukaku, Benzema in their primes.
That's easy.
That's easy?
God.
I'll go first.
So wait.
I'll go first.
Start one, bench one,
And cut one.
cut one. Haaland, Lukaku,
Benzema.
Benzema.
In their prime.
Can I start?
I feel like there is a right answer.
Yes.
I
there
will
is.
say
there is.
I'm 100% starting down nueve Karim Benzema, who has a Ballon d'Or, who has 5 Champions League titles, who was the wonder kid at Lyon, went crazy, then came to Madrid, has become the most decorated French player ever, most decorated Real Madrid player ever, and is now getting a calm $400 million a year in Saudi Arabia, and he finally gets to live in a Muslim country, as he always wanted to do. So I'm starting Karim Benzema. That's my guy. He's brought me so much joy. Incredible. And I just think he's the most versatile. I'm going to bench Haaland. I don't want him coming off my bench. We know what kind of goals he can bring. And imagine his energy in the 70th minute. And then Lukaku.
Different careers, man.
I might have to cut you, bro. Your life's already good enough having Meg. I'm going to have to cut you. Bro.
I'm going to say,
But
bro,
Lukaku in his prime was an absolute baller, and I hope he can find that form again. You know, on some serious shit, but prime Haaland, bro, he broke the Premier League record for fun. Like,
you know what? I'm going to counter that a bit and say, one, I think there is a right answer in terms of who has to start.
I just gave it.
And it's Benzema.
Yeah.
I will start. I'll start Benzema.
that's why it's a weird 3, but I like it.
Yeah.
I like it, though.
I'll start
But it's
Benzema.
weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll start Karim Benzema. I will bench Lukaku.
Yeah.
And I'll cut Haaland only because
Prime.
Skin tone? Power to the people, daily paper, Afrofuturism.
I think the biggest factor for me of why I'll cut Haaland is because his career is so much. His career has just started. Like
First season trouble, broke the prime record. But
he just doesn't have as much longevity. Like, I don't think, and again, we haven't seen prime Haaland yet.
that's why athletes
Like, I think there's room for growth there.
Yeah.
He could have done this, like, as much as he's done right now, broke the Premier League record and won the treble, and that could be it. I don't wish that on him, but
It could be it.
But if it's it,
no, we're not. So real quick.
if it's it, am I taking that?
Really funny. This could be his prime.
No, but bro, he might not have a better season than this season. How does he have a better season?
I mean, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough to
I'm not
beat
even
that.
trying to hate. Like he
It's
could be
tough to
scoring
make
20.
that.
Well, he could
It
score
just dawned
20.
on me that you're fully right. Like he could never do
Bro,
better.
he could
than
score
that
20.
today.
He might score 20 a season for 10 years. That's great. But what you just did, I mean, to be fair, Messi scored 91 in the calendar year, won everything, I think, and he was actually 24.
That's a bit scary.
So-
That's a bit scary for a 22-year-old.
You know what I mean?
He's not a reference. Messi and Ronaldo shouldn't be references.
No, but I'm saying was Messi's best season when he was 24?
They
Statistically, trophies and everything. They
say.
You know, I don't know if that's him most complete because he probably became a bit more of a playmaker, whatever. I'm just saying, stats and trophies. Actually, how do you top it? Unless he somehow does it next year and then they go far in the Euros with Norway or something.
All I'm gonna say is I want Sebastian's answer before I get mine.
Wait, hold
Yeah.
on.
I know,
So,
let
so
Eli
I'll
that,
finish. So I would bench Lukaku. He has more just for the experience.
Yeah.
And I think, I would bank more on Lukaku. And I would cut Haaland. And again, it's not a fair question
No.
because they're all elite.
Yep.
But
They're going to hate us in the comments.
But because he's still 22 years old and I've seen more of Lukaku, I'd pick Lukaku to start off the bench.
So we're gonna be like, what?
So I agree. I think in terms of starting someone, it must be Benzema. However, I agree with you, Eli. I think Lukaku in his prime is much more useful than Haaland in his prime. Because I'm one of those people, and people may kill me for it, but I think that Haaland is a very one-trick pony. Like that's how I feel about him. I think
He's a finisher.
I think he's really good at his fucking trick. I
talking
think
about
his
Mbappe.
trick is fantastic, but it's one thing. Whereas Lukaku is such a more intelligent and useful player on the field. Like he links up with Lautaro in such like a dynamic way that his prime, his absolute prime, makes him more than just a striker. He's actually a playmaker, and people don't give Lukaku the credit that he deserves for being a playmaker.
Absolutely.
So for that reason, I'm taking Lukaku on the bench, and I'm cutting Haaland.
I'll say one thing to Haaland not being as much of a playmaker. One thing about Pep that's interesting, I was talking to somebody about this during the game. He has a very, his style of play is a lot about possession, which, I wouldn't say creates the illusion, but, he likes his beautiful football, especially, in Barca, and, Cruyff influenced him and whatnot. But his players do lose some aspects of individualism when they join. For instance, you look at a player like Mahrez, Leicester, 2 step overs, fake roll, cut back. He does it here and there, but the thing that I'm thinking of, would Haaland be more of a playmaker outside of Pep? That's another question.
TBD?
You know what I'm saying?
That's why I say prime. Yeah.
TBD.
But to answer the question, the experienced one, I'll definitely say Lukaku is there. It's tough because Haaland is a monster.
So who are you starting?
Oh, I mean Benzema.
Okay.
I like Benz. Yeah, even from Lyon, I like Benz.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Who are you benching?
Honestly, I would definitely say
Mind you, they're going to see this clip, so.
Yo, that's the thing. I'm gonna get cooked. At their primes and what they could do, I'll definitely say I like Lukaku style of play for what he brings to a team. I can say that without a doubt because Haaland is a finisher, so you need other people. But Haaland, congrats on winning the Champions League final just now. There are people in other countries, talking shit like this, but granted, he's still fired.
So you just not gonna say straight up that you're gonna cut Haaland?
How much he just won the shit?
He can take it more. Rom don't
You're
need to
cutting
hear
Haaland,
this.
bro. You're cutting
You know
Haaland.
what I mean? He can take it.
It's okay.
Rom can't, right? Rom, we
It's
got to
okay.
support. I shouldn't have cut him off, bro.
It's okay.
I'm not gonna lie.
Rom, I was rooting for you
I
today,
don't know
bro.
why I'm even, he plays for City, so that's another reason.
And I have another question to follow up. So, winning the treble, Haaland, right, in his first season, breaking the Premier League goal scoring record, just 10 out of 10 first moment in England. He's proven everything he needs to. Do you think this expedites him leaving City? Or do you think he's more likely to want to stay and keep going? Because now, obviously, teams like Madrid have wanted him in the past. I'm sure Bayern Munich's wanted him, things like that nature. I think, actually, because he's already achieved everything at City, he can go whenever he wants. Now, he's not going to leave next season, maybe not the season after.
Yeah, he's not.
But I could see him no longer being here on some 7-year thing. I'm really trying to win the UCL.
Yeah.
He did all that in his first season.
You know what?
I could see him leaving in
He could
3 years.
end up, depending on, I don't know how Haaland feels living in Manchester. Maybe it becomes.
Nobody likes living in Manchester.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Jack
Who
Grealish
knows?
does.
Maybe,
Jack Grealish
maybe
loves
it becomes a thing where he actually likes it there. Somehow he has an emotional connection to the city, or he meets a girl there, and he has a base of foundations there, and he just wants to build his life in Manchester. And he's like, I want to be like he won't be a one club guy because obviously he was in Salzburg and then he was in Dortmund, but he might just want this to be his primary club and where he retires and everything. So who knows? That might be the thing because at this point it's just like it's just like he's won, like you said, he's won what matters, what he needs to win. So it's just about now getting the individual accolades. He's broken the scoring record in the Premier League. Now he needs to go after that Ballon d'Or.
I was just about to say.
It's just.
I mean, you can answer, but we'll turn into the Ballon d'Or. But that's the next question.
No, I was gonna say it depends on why he went to City. If he went to City for Pep, because
if Pep leaves, I think he's leaving
that's
too.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Haaland went to City for there's a system where I'll be able to fit in and do well. Pep leaves, then he's gonna give the new coach only so much time.
Yep.
If he went to City to then win the Ballon d'Or, and shit. Ballon d'Or is definitely, there is the La Liga. Not biased, but, it's definitely going to the Spanish football.
Yeah. I mean, it was Ronaldo, Messi. So.
No, of course. You know what I'm saying? Fair.
Yeah.
But, if we're talking about business in this industry, there are some clubs, companies that are at the top. So, could be there. I could also see him, if you're just killing shit in City actually have been stomping on the Prem, bro. After this Champions League, if they have another good UCL period, if they're able to, replenish well, keep bringing new projects, they got
totally do back-to-back trebles.
They have big money, bro.
Oh, they won't.
They have big
They
money.
could. I think it's too hard to repeat like that. But I think they could seriously threaten in multiple competitions. Kind of doubt they repeat because that's just that level of consistency is so crazy. They could repeat in a couple things.
Bro, they have big money. And one thing about it, too, is that
and a system.
Haaland will only attract more players to play with Haaland.
Yeah.
Granted, it depends, obviously, if, you want to be the superstar or not.
Yeah.
But if you want to win.
Yeah. But then the other thing is, you want to go?
Just to modify your question is, does it expedite Haaland leaving Man City?
Yeah.
We didn't really consider him going to Saudi Arabia. We didn't really consider how that league is starting to really shape up as an actual viable place to go.
It's
the current Ballon d'Or holder currently plays in Saudi Arabia.
Al Ittihad, the champions. Just got unveiled. Yep.
I mean, it's not the wildest thing for him to be like, okay, I've achieved everything in Europe. Let me go be a pioneer and be the face of a new league and be an actual face because, hey, I'm in my prime right now. If I go, everyone else comes. And not only do I make history by literally creating a new league that is actually looked at with respect, but I get to go to a whole new continent and try something else out.
And the bag is
because I was thinking in my head, I mean, he's played in Germany, he's played in England, he's played in Norway. So clearly he has a preference of culture and like environment. He likes the cold, little rainy weather. Cool. Go try out Saudi. See what that's like.
You know what?
Bro.
I'll say this is a good I'm glad you brought up the whole Saudi conversation because they've been in the news a lot. Obviously, Benzema is now a player for Al Ittihad.
Yep.
He's playing in Saudi Arabia.
Let me get the details of the deal.
They're trying to acquire.
Get his quote.
Saudi teams are trying to acquire a whole lot of players. They're trying to get Sergio Busquets. They're close to getting Sergio Ramos now.
They're getting Kante, right? The same team.
N'Golo Kante.
Already have Ronaldo.
They have Ronaldo.
They want Neymar.
However, they lost out on Lionel Messi.
Yeah, let's cheers.
Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi. We gotta clap it up for that.
Where's he
bro.
coming?
We gotta clap. Yo, Lionel Messi.
Come on, G.
Messi
in America. Messi came to play soccer in America. How that make you feel right there, you Brits?
Yo, Messi turned down.
Messi in the yams, nigga.
And to
Messi
think about
in the
this,
yams, bro.
This is great.
Think about a run living 11.
This is colossal,
Fuck you talking
bro.
about? Mateo go to sleep. We outside.
Messi refused. Messi turned down a nearly $1 billion offer from Saudi Arabia club Al Ittihad.
That man just wants to speak Spanish, bro.
To go to enter Miami.
Hey, man, if you've been in Miami, you
that
know
man
why.
just wants to speak Spanish. He just wants to leave his house and be
why.
Okay, bro. You hear what he said about being in PSG? He said he spent 2 miserable years in Paris.
Yo, there's so much to say about PSG.
He really turned down nearly $1 billion.
We have a PSG episode.
And now
He's touching bread already.
Now he's going to enter Miami, and I feel like
They're not giving him small money though.
Wait, let's talk about
no. Okay,
shares,
so
his deal.
Shares
so
in
let's
that.
let
the league.
So let's
You want to break the whole
for
thing?
the
Okay.
listeners, let's
Let me do
break it down
Benzema's
because
deal
I don't
too.
have. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
So, okay, Benzema's deal at Al Ittihad is this, right? He is set to earn $200 million per season, which can be broken down into the following: almost $16 million per month, $4 million per week, $500,000 per day, $24,000 per hour, $400 per minute, and $6 per second.
Yo, that's nuts. That's so crazy.
$500,000 per day is insane.
And for those who are American fans who might be really into the NFL, his contract is essentially the amount of an NFL team's salary cap. A salary cap, for those who don't watch the NFL or American sports, is the total amount of wages that they can have for an entire team. Football teams are very large. I believe it's a 53-man squad. Then you also have the practice players.
Yeah. And
their annual total wages salary is equivalent to Benzema himself in a season, bro. This Saudi money is changing sports.
Kareem Breach Benzema.
It's changing sports right now.
Kareem Benzema.
They had a similar thing in golf with Live Golf where they were tossing these same sort of bags to golfers, and PGA had to combine with them because they weren't being able to compete. Saudi, they're changing sports, bro. They're really changing sports right now. It's unlimited money. Think about Newcastle in the Champions League now.
Y'all boys better start learning Arabic.
I'd love to. It's a very useful language, just in general. It's a very useful language.
We talk about soccer growing in America.
Yeah.
It's growing elsewhere too.
I like this though.
Yeah.
Things growing really outside of Europe and just making it. So I have an idea, bro.
This is a
very Seb, very Eli idea, clip, get cooked sort of thing. But if we can get to the point of having a true world Champions League that's actually competitive.
Beautiful.
Like imagine the best team in Saudi Arabia, the best team in the MLS, a few teams from Africa, a few teams South America, pretty much a World Cup, but the top clubs, but to the point where outside of Europe, it's actually competitive. I know we are not there yet, but I would love for that to become a thing. Like the Club World Cup, imagine 32 teams, but it's actually competitive.
Yeah.
We're not there yet, but I really hope we can get there.
Yeah.
That'll make, because soccer really can't grow much more other than becoming even more competitive.
And global.
If we can get to a Club World Cup of 32 teams being competitive with a similar format, that should be the goal for soccer globally. Yeah.
That would be fire. Low key. Yeah, I actually like that idea.
Yeah.
Okay, now
I don't think we're ready for it. Again, we're not ready for it. But one day, if we can get to that competitiveness.
Okay, describe it for me.
It'll expose the disparity.
So, I mean, just think about the World Cup. Different conferences. You could do the exact same thing, meaning CONMEBOL, UEFA, CONCACAF, get a certain amount of teams they send. Let's keep the exact same numbers. Actually, I know they're expanding to 48, but let's keep it 32. Same amount of teams per conference, but it's clubs. Imagine that could actually be competitive. So it wouldn't be, unfortunately.
Is it like the Champions League where you have home and away legs, or is it literally
you could that or the World Cup format, either or. But just getting to a 32 team tournament of global clubs, same amount per conference, whatever you'd like to do, that it's actually competitive. That's the goal I'd love us to get to. Obviously, we're very far from that because UEFA would win every year.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Can I ask one question? Do you think that countries would root for the club that is representing their country in this tournament?
Yeah, no.
So hold on, let me say it again.
Yeah.
If we then create this Club World Cup that is actually viable, where clubs from all over the world are actually competing for something, do you think people from certain countries would actually root for the club that represents their country, or would people be against cities that they aren't from?
I think it comes down to rivalry even. So, for instance, for me, I'll give an example. So I was mad delayed that response.
No, you're completely good.
I will fall asleep right now.
Just talk. Talk here.
Nah, for real. I'm a United fan. Did not want City to hold that.
Right.
There was a Chelsea fan.
But you're not British.
That's the thing. But there's a Chelsea fan there who is British who said he wanted City to win because he didn't want an Italian team to hold it. So
yeah, it's kind of like me with Barca. Sometimes it's on some like La Liga doing well versus your rivals, and it's kind of hard to grapple with. So it's interesting. I'd have to see how it all shapes up. I know MLS I'm rooting for it for sure, though.
Yeah.
Even if it's the Red Bulls, who is the rival to New York City FC. Obviously, that's not as passionate for me as Real Madrid versus Barca sort of thing. But I mean, you imagine an MLS team winning the Club World Cup.
So what would the breakdown? So let's say we have 32 teams.
Yep.
You'd have. So how many conferences will it be? Because we have South America,
North America,
South America, North America, Europe, Africa,
Asia.
But Asia.
Betis.
That's it.
Sevilla.
So if we have
It's just the same as the World
the
Cup.
exact same thing,
amount of spots.
because UEFA has
some of them would
clubs.
probably have. So like Africa would probably have like 1 or 2 more teams.
No, they'd have 5.
It's just bigger.
They'd have 5.
You could keep it the way it is now.
Keep it exactly the way it is.
So then we do 30 teams then instead of 32.
No, I'm saying the World Cup's, well, it's about to be 48, but you know how the World Cup's 32?
Yeah.
Each conference, let's say UEFA has 11, CONCACAF has 4. CAF for Africa has 5, right?
Yeah.
The exact same format.
I'd want
but
it to
instead
be
of
a
sending
little more
countries,
even.
No, I know that could be good too. But I'm saying regardless, it's
Yeah.
just UEFA. Instead of sending a country, they're sending a club.
Yeah.
CONCACAF, you're
That would
sending
be
clubs.
fire.
I'm just
No,
saying.
why hasn't that been done before?
Because
Just
it's
time.
not-
We only have the Super Cup.
Timing,
Yeah,
yeah.
and the
Season, bro.
distances are crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're creating a whole nother thing.
Traveling, flights,
I just would, and it's really the whole idea of having global clubs across all continents being at a higher, even playing field. I think that's where footy should want to go in the future. Because you can't make it more popular, really. It's really
The
just...
Club World Cup is basically what that is at the top.
It's just
because
not-
they're taking
But it's one
people.
team per thing instead of
That's the thing.
5.
They just take the top of each.
Exactly.
I had a thought earlier, just to go back to our previous conversation. If we've established that Benzema and Suarez and Lewandowski are kind of like the Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick Lamars of strikers, what is Haaland?
I would say because
Or
of
who
his
is Haaland?
age and coming
Haaland is
up,
Lil
Lil
Baby.
Baby, definitely Lil Baby.
Yeah,
for
hold
sure,
on.
bro.
Yeah.
Based
Wait,
on
why?
like the hits
Why?
after hits, killing it this much young.
But he's not yet.
But he's still not yet clearly
Longevity,
the guy.
consistency makes the difference.
You know what I'm saying? I'd wonder what we'd have to call him Mbappe
He's
in that
Lil
case.
Baby in 2018, 2019.
He could be
He's not-
dub,
he could be
Baby
he could
now, I
be dub
think.
baby in 2022, low key.
No.
2022
Or 2020, because
When he was
2020.
popping?
the baby,
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh, that's
2020.
2019,
Before the
19,
controversy.
20. But even before controversy, that album that came out during the pandemic, he just kind of slowly tailed off.
I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
with the
I know what you're
Baby.
saying.
Yeah.
But I'll say only because like Baby also has gone through some fake, not downs, but feel me. Haaland's fresh out.
Yeah.
Fresh out. Like,
Yeah.
he was just at Dortmund, bro. This is first season.
Yeah.
So can I ask this just to go back a bit, because we're talking about, World Club Championships and stuff. Quickly on
gotta
the
say
Messi thing, because
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, of course, of course.
That's such a big thing.
Yeah.
Again, he declined the offer from Saudi Arabia to come to Inter Miami.
And Barca?
And Barca. So now,
bad.
and this is the first time I've seen a club actually not sign a player and still put out a statement talking about it.
You got
which
the
I think
sauce
to
out
me
there, bro.
was very weird. Like if
Yeah.
you don't get the player, you don't say nothing. Barca
Yeah.
actually put out a statement on their Instagram outlining what happened. They were talking to Messi. There was interest from him and the club for each other to play, to bring him back.
Yep.
They're like his dad, expressed to them that Monday. I think we found out on Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
That Monday, they expressed that they were not gonna sign with Barcelona.
Yeah.
And that he was gonna go to Inter Miami. I feel like that was like Barca's a little salty, which I understand, but they could have kept that statement to themselves.
People
Even as a
didn't like
Barca
that.
fan,
Yeah.
I feel like that was out of line. But Messi making that decision, he's gonna be making $50 million a year. There's no other player making close to that in MLS. The closest one is Shaqiri, who's making $8 million a year. So
Literally?
yes, the closest.
Literally?
In
It's
MLS.
true.
Holy
Insigne's
wow.
making like 6.
Yes. So
Wow.
with that, he has the salary, obviously.
Well, wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah.
He has the salary,
Yep.
but allegedly he's gonna have some sort of ownership in the club. Allegedly, he's gonna get cut into the Apple deal, the Apple broadcasting deal, or streaming deal that
Yep.
Shares in
they have
that.
with MLS. Apparently,
Yeah.
allegedly, he's also, because he's
The
arguably,
global
not
Adidas.
arguably,
He's the biggest Adidas athlete, bro.
He's the number one Adidas athlete.
in the world, not even close. Yeah.
He's gonna have a cut of Adidas,
MLS.
revenue or whatever in MLS because
every MLS team wears Adidas.
every
Yep.
MLS club is sponsored by Adidas.
We will never see a variation in MLS jerseys, but that's
Ugh, sad,
Yeah.
low key.
fine.
But
Wow.
shout out Adidas.
That's a
football, but
businessman right there, bro.
yeah.
That's a businessman.
Which-
that might be worth more than the salary over there.
Here's my thing:
Yeah.
a deal
Long-term.
of that magnitude.
It's hard to do the math, but
Yeah, a deal of that magnitude, I can imagine that he saw the money. I don't think it's just a lifestyle decision.
No.
I think he saw that business decision in the long run being equivalent to or even better than just taking the money straight up from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Ownership is different, bro.
Yeah.
Ownership in a club in Miami,
Yeah.
as footy in the U.S. keeps booming, the World Cup's coming up. That's such a long-term investment.
What does that tell you, sponsors? That tells you that the scene in the U.S. is moving in a direction that even the GOATs
Respect
want
yourself.
to be a part of it. Even
money.
the GOATs
Respect yourself.
want to be a part of it. So stop slacking.
Stop slacking.
5ASIDE is heading towards that, bro.
Listen.
Hey, don't get left out.
Listen, like Drake
Don't
said,
get left
my
out.
favorite 2 words from you white boys is sign here. Let me pop this champagne real quick, bro.
Woo! Let's hear. Hold on.
This guy's not a real person.
Hold on, ready? Come on, bro. Yo, come on. Let me hold this up real quick. Major congrats to us on an amazing watch party today.
Amazing
Daily Paper.
event,
Daily Paper,
man.
mad love for y'all again for believing in us and believing in the vision. Completely let us cook. Full creative control.
The price-
with the promo.
the price
With the price.
is going up.
Just went up.
Just
Come
went
on, y'all. So, bro, we're going to have much more events on the way, but I got to pour out some bubbly for y'all. Congrats again, boys. This is crazy. First year?
Yes, sir.
First 8 months?
Amazing.
We cooking.
Nah,
I'm
we
still
cooking,
floating.
bro.
I'm still floating. You were
Kendrick,
gonna say.
we love you. Thank you.
Kendrick
Love you,
is
Kendrick.
couldn't
Kendrick
be
put
here.
that together, bro.
Speaking of the price going up,
Yes.
prices for Messi's debut against Cruz Azul have gone up by 1,000%.
I'm pouring you a bunch.
Initially, last week, tickets were $29. They are currently $429. And the team's visit to New York Red Bull has gone up by 2,000%.
Yo, Messi, yo. Which camera am I looking at? 4? Right here? Yo, Messi. Don't duck the smoke, bro. We love you. Come and do an episode with the 5ASIDE podcast when you
Spanish?
come to New York.
And in Espanol, we have a.
Hey, bueno. Puedes
yeah.
tener el episode. I forgot to say episode in español. No es un problema, bro. Come on.
Because we know that man is not going to learn English.
Tenemos bebidas y todo, ¿me entiendes?
Yo, that's another thing. What, as a professional football player, as a professional soccer player, football player, what language is the most useful to know?
English. It has to be English. It has to be English. Because I feel like it,
English.
Spanish?
The 2.
It's not Spanish? Well,
It's
I'm
English
asking
and
you,
Spanish.
Is it more useful to know English or is it more useful to know Spanish?
Maybe English because a lot of foreign guys learn that because they want to come to the Prem, which is probably the most touted league marketing-wise. So a lot. Yeah, those are the 2 though. But in South America,
But I'm saying which one is
and
more
then people
important?
playing La Liga.
I say
Yeah,
English.
English. Okay. So
Maybe it's be.
I'm thinking about
Maybe
communicating.
I'm not as
Yeah.
well traveled, so maybe you can.
I'm thinking about communicating with teammates.
on teammates.
Because, okay, you got to communicate with the French kids.
Yeah.
And the
Definitely
Italians
English,
and the
Spanish,
Portuguese and the
French.
Brazilians.
Spanish is good. It's a Latin language. You
Yeah.
can learn a lot that way.
But then the English players, most of the Arab players speak English. Most of the
Yeah.
Eastern European players speak English. So I don't know. It's an interesting question to
I'd
wonder,
probably pick
what
English.
is more useful as a player.
Yeah.
Because therefore that comes into your value because the sooner that you can learn how to speak a language, the sooner you can learn how to be a part of
Yeah.
the team.
No, that's true, bro. Good point.
So, guys, by the way, I have a funny story. This is coming out of Italy, Seb's Daily Italy Reports.
Love it.
Napoli won the league recently, which, I'm very happy for the Napoli team, City of Naples, all that.
Your little brother.
My little brother.
Shout out Osimhen.
Yes.
Shout out
So,
Franz.
when Spaletti first joined Napoli, he was not having the greatest of results with his club. And so the Ultras stole his car. They took his vehicle from his driveway.
His actual car.
His vehicle, yes. They took his Fiat.
Yo.
His beloved Fiat, his first car, by the way. They stole it. They took it.
Just imagine you're not doing good at work and niggas just take your car, bro.
Yes, they took his vehicle.
Okay, go ahead.
So he won the league with Naples, right?
Much.
And they've returned part of his car. They returned the steering wheel to him in a surprise gift box. And he seemed happy. He seemed
Why is Napoli giving Bronx energy? What's going on? How you gonna return the steering wheel to your
There's a
car?
Bronx in Europe, it's Napoli for real. It is.
Really?
They're not
so funny.
fucking
They just
around.
returned
What about the Balkans? That too.
The whole area is the Bronx in the
Yeah.
Balkans, but yeah. Shout out my Albanians.
They're
No, I
not-
was just about to say there's mad Albanians in the Bronx, bro. For sure.
Yo, in other news,
Damn.
we got to talk about some news coming out of the women's football.
Yeah, got to give some love to Nike. So as you saw before, they released the first ever unisex basketball cleat that was led by a woman that came out from the baller from my New York Liberty, Sabrina Ionescu. But they have now also released the Nike Phantom Luna, a brand new football cleat that is the first ever created by women, designed for women, but is also available in both men's and women's sizes.
Fire.
It's a beautiful, sleek boot that's for, flary players with touch. So just shout out Nike for pushing the envelope forward. And apparently it had very extensive research to actually be truly designed for a woman's foot as well. So again, it's just more and more investment in the women's game. Another quick fact about the women's game that's blowing up right now is each FIFA Women's World Cup player will be getting 30 racks to play in the World Cup.
Amazing.
So just more financial investment, man. We're super excited for the Women's World Cup. We'll be covering a bunch. But
30 racks sitting on the
just
counter.
love for the women's game, man.
30 racks
Love.
sitting on the counter.
Come on, G. 3P on the way.
And speaking of flair, speaking of Nike,
Yeah.
of course, a big part of 5ASIDE, yo, is how we present
Let's talk
ourselves
about it, G.
visually, aesthetically, yo. What we put on, our
Yeah.
bodies, our feet, the clothing, the
Come on.
drip, whatever you want to call it. So today, and again, Kendra couldn't be here today, but just know he had that shit on.
He had that shit
at
on
all times.
DP
He was at the
branded.
event.
Come
Yes,
on,
sir.
G.
Yes.
But starting with my boy Josh, what you got on today?
Hey, what I got on today? Shout out Mifflin, man. Shout
Gang.
out Miffy.
The A.
Founded in 2011. Shout out Toby. Shout out Atlanta. Shout out Nigeria. Shout out Rashid.
Shout out Sheed, bro. She's the homie, man. Showing love.
to Wavy since 2019. This is the Mifflin Football Club collection. Dropped in March. They had Yoga Benito vibes for the video. You know, they got the warm-up set. This is, you know, the top, the blue top, and bottom they had. You know what I'm saying? I got daily paper on the socks. I don't know if y'all can see the socks.
DP the
as
label
well.
for real. Come on, lift that leg up. Pause.
Wow.
Happy Pride Month.
Definitely.
But-
Wow.
Nah, for
Definitely.
sure though. Shout out to
Definitely. He's dead ass though. For me,
Nah,
happy
actually,
Pride
though.
Month. Nah, for sure. You'll
Yeah.
see the Million M pattern in Miami too.
Yes, sir.
They about to be the official fashion wear that's gonna be at the event that we about to be at. So yeah, tap in with Mifflin. If you a baller, if you fuck with fashion, tap
Come
in with
on.
Mifflin.
Let's keep it moving. Pulled up today. Gotta rock some of Queens as always. Love my chunky shoe vibe. The pants are pretty crazy. Minimal LA did it. I'm gonna have to stand up for this though.
Nah, it's fire. It's fire.
What is that? What is
More on the leg. There it is. They couldn't see that. So
what is that?
shout out Minimal LA. This has Shakespeare art and Shakespeare quotes on it. So, man, we get in deep with the fashion thing right here. You know, daily paper on the tee. We pulled up like the Power Rangers. All had these same daily paper shirts on, just different colors.
Go,
and,
Power
you know, same jewelry.
Rangers.
But tomorrow, getting my ears pierced for the first time. Like Caleb. Hey! Hold
He's
on,
joining
bro.
the gang.
Hey, like
He's
Caleb
joining the
Fro
gang.
said, both ears bust a hot chew. I got boogers on me. You heard? Shout out LA. What's next?
Nah,
Go
this
ahead, bro.
guy.
Both ears busting, nigga.
Come on.
No foo-foo diamonds. Go ahead, G.
Joining the gang?
Yes, sir.
Good luck.
Got it for Scomi. I'm gonna have my braids back too very soon.
It
Shout out
stinks
my
a little bit. Wait, are you gonna
This
go?
guy's-
Are you gonna go?
Nah,
He loves
Friday
it.
night in Miami,
He
bro.
loves it.
Are you
That
gonna go?
vlog?
Are you gonna go studs?
Yeah. Okay, we gotta wrap it.
Real quick, are you going studs or like hoops?
Nah, studs, diamond studs. Diamond studs.
All right, so
You know who does the hoops?
who? Kendrick.
You know who does
So, all right, you got the thing too.
Real quick.
But, yeah, I'm studs, but yeah, got the daily paper top on. Shout out to DP, man. These jeans thrifted as always. We got the on the feet, the white Air Forces, Fazos.
De las montañas,
You know, white
la
ups,
nieve,
whatever you want to call it.
I
Tú
hate-
sabes,
I hate
eh?
these niggas.
And gotta have the brr on the wrist and the brr on the
Ice
neck.
traded gang. Ice traded gang. Come on.
What you got on, my boy? Send us out.
Today, quickly, I have the vintage Gremio kit. You know, Ronaldinho started here, so
Yes.
yeah, it's a rep for him.
Legendary.
The 4th of July, Pumas. And then I think minimal, But yeah, that's
Yes,
it.
sir. Yes, sir.
All right, y'all. Mad love. Appreciate y'all. This was
Appreciate y'all
episode
so
30.
much,
We didn't
man.
even
Episode
say
30.
like Steph Curry with a
Episode-
shot, boy. 360 with a rest, boy. Who the fucking nigga is this, boy? We
Episode
out, nigga.
30,
3.
yes, sir.
3, yo, Steph.
Rappers are
big
so
vibes.
corny.
Congrats,
Rappers
y'all.
are so corny.
Wait,
Rappers
wait,
are
Like,
so
so
rappers
corny.
the-
are corny.